The Carthraxian battle fleet hung in the void like metallic storm clouds, their weapons primed and glowing with deadly intent. At the center of the bridge aboard the flagship Devourer's Fang, Queen Zalvestra rose from her obsidian throne, her 4 arms spreading wide in a gesture of dominance. Her chitinous exoskeleton gleamed purple-black under the crimson lighting, and her compound eyes fixed upon the 2 humans standing before her in electromagnetic restraints. Jasper Chen stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking remarkably relaxed for someone facing certain death. Beside him, Eleanor Rodriguez maintained her diplomatic posture, though her jaw was clenched tight enough to crack teeth. "You dare enter our territory!" Queen Zalvestra's voice boomed through the translation matrix, each word dripping with venom. "Your pathetic species will learn what it means to defy the Carthraxian collective. We have conquered 73 civilizations. We have reduced entire star systems to ash. We have—" Jasper yawned. The bridge fell silent. 300 Carthraxian warriors stood frozen, antennae twitching in confusion. Eleanor shot Jasper a look that could have melted hull plating. Queen Zalvestra's mandibles clicked together in fury. She descended from her throne, her clawed feet scraping against the deck plates as she approached. At nearly 8 feet tall, she towered over the human man. She leaned down until her razor-sharp mandibles were inches from his face. "Fear me, human," she roared, her breath reeking of sulfur and carrion. Jasper blinked once, then twice. Then he started laughing, not a nervous titter, but a genuine belly-deep laugh that echoed through the cavernous bridge. "Oh, wow," he wheezed, wiping tears from his eyes with his shoulder since his hands were bound. "I'm sorry, I really am. But after my ex-wife? You're adorable." The queen reared back as if struck. Her translator flickered, unsure if it had processed correctly. Adorable? Jasper?" Eleanor hissed through clenched teeth. "What are you doing?" "Being honest," he replied cheerfully. "Your Majesty, you're giving me your best intimidation routine, and I appreciate the effort really. But I spent 12 years married to Patricia Chen. That woman could make a black hole feel inadequate about its gravitational pull." Queen Zalvestra's exoskeleton plates shifted, displaying patterns of confusion and rage. "You mock me? I have personally eviscerated champions of 100 worlds. Patricia once made a Michelin-starred chef cry by describing his risotto," Jasper continued, warming to his theme. "At a charity event that he was hosting, for orphans." Eleanor pinched the bridge of her nose. "Jasper, this isn't helping our diplomatic mission." "On the contrary, Ambassador Rodriguez," Jasper said. "I think Her Majesty and I are reaching an understanding." He turned his attention back to the alien queen. "See, the thing about humans is that we've been terrorizing each other for thousands of years. We've perfected psychological warfare on ourselves. You're threatening to destroy our colonies? Patricia threatened to tell my mother I was the one who broke her Ming vase, the one from actual Ming dynasty, every single day for 5 years. Your female mate attempted to manipulate you through familial bonds?" The queen's translator added a note of uncertainty. "Ex-mate," Jasper corrected. "And that was just Tuesday behavior. Wednesday was when she'd reorganize my entire research lab and then act shocked that I couldn't find anything. I was just trying to help, Jasper," he mimicked in a high-pitched voice. "Thursday she'd invite her parents over without telling me. Friday, enough." Queen Zalvestra's roar shook the bulkheads. "What is the purpose of this? This verbal assault?" Eleanor saw her opening. "Your Majesty, if I may explain. Humanity has survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and the invention of social media. We've been dealing with difficult personalities, passive-aggressive behavior, and emotional manipulation since before we discovered fire. Your threats of physical violence are, and please don't take this the wrong way, straightforward by comparison." The queen's antennae drooped slightly. "You are not afraid?" "Oh, we're terrified," Eleanor assured her. "But fear is kind of our thing. We're afraid of everything. Spiders, public speaking, dying alone, being judged by our peers, climate change, our mothers-in-law. We've built an entire civilization while being absolutely petrified 24/7. Jasper nodded enthusiastically. Fun fact, the stress hormone cortisol? We produce so much of it that other species thought our readings were a sensor malfunction. Turns out we just live like that. Queen Zalvestra slowly circled the two humans, her warrior instincts trying to process this information. So you acknowledge your fear, yet you laugh at my might? It's called coping mechanisms, Jasper explained. Humans developed humor as a survival tool. When Patricia served me with divorce papers, I laughed then too, because the alternative was acknowledging that I'd lost the house, the dog, and my favorite coffee maker, the one that played Also Sprach Zarathustra when the brew was ready. The canine loyalty and thermal beverage preparation device are significant? The Queen's voice carried genuine curiosity now. Your Majesty, Eleanor interjected smoothly, her diplomatic training kicking in. What my colleague is trying to explain is that humanity doesn't respond to intimidation the way most species do. We've internalized our fears and anxieties to such a degree that external threats often seem manageable. We're not saying we're superior, far from it. We're saying we're damaged in very specific ways that make us uniquely difficult to frighten. The Queen returned to her throne, settling into it with a thoughtful clicking of mandibles. The Carthraxian way is dominance through terror. We have never encountered a species that responds to fear with mockery. It's not mockery, Jasper said, his tone gentler now. It's perspective. You can blow up our colonies. Patricia destroyed my self-esteem, and she didn't even need a starship to do it. You can wage war on us. We've been waging war on ourselves since we figured out that rocks make good weapons. You can threaten to end our species. We've got climate change, nuclear weapons, and artificial intelligence doing that already. Eleanor saw the moment things shifted. The Queen's aggressive posture relaxed slightly, her warriors' weapons lowering by increments. So what do humans want? Queen Zalvestra asked. If not to tremble before superior force? Coffee, Jasper said immediately. And maybe some decent trade agreements. Your nebula has excellent rare earth minerals, and we've got agricultural techniques that could triple your food production. You offer cooperation after I threatened annihilation? Eleanor smiled. Your Majesty, that's literally how Jasper and Patricia started dating. She threatened to fail him in organic chemistry. They were married 6 months later. Worst decision of my life, Jasper added cheerfully. But I learned an important lesson. The scariest things in the universe aren't the ones with fangs and claws. They're the ones that know exactly which emotional buttons to push. Queen Zalvestra was silent for a long moment. Finally, she clicked her mandibles in what the translator recognized as amusement. Your species is damaged. Catastrophically, Eleanor confirmed, yet you survive. Thriving, actually, Jasper said. We've got decent medical care, streaming entertainment, and coffee. What more could you want? The Queen's laughter, a chittering, clicking sound, filled the bridge. Her warriors exchanged confused glances, antennae twitching rapidly. Perhaps, she said slowly, we should discuss these trade agreements and you will tell me more about this Patricia. She sounds formidable. Oh, she absolutely is, Jasper agreed. Fair warning, though, if we do establish an alliance, keep her away from your military strategies. She'll have your entire fleet reorganized and your warriors in matching uniforms before you can say galactic conquest. Eleanor allowed herself a small smile as the electromagnetic restraints deactivated. Against all odds, humanity's most unusual survival trait, the ability to find humor in the face of existential dread, had just prevented an interstellar war. And it had only cost Jasper his dignity, which, as he often said, Patricia had already claimed in the divorce settlement anyway.